Laying out your machines in straight lines works really well and looks really clean, but you have to lay out hundreds of machines during a normal playthrough, so you may want to mix it up a bit. Hi, I'm Scratch, and today I'm going to show you 5 different ways to lay out your machines that work just as well as straight lines and also look way more aesthetically pleasing and make it more interesting to put them down. Let's dive in. Okay, so just a quick little explainer on how I'm going to run this video. Basically what we're going to do is I'm going to show you an example in a save of where I've used the technique or where I've laid out a machine in a certain style, and then I'm going to jump over to some blueprints I've created and show you those, and just let you know those blueprints will be available to download, and I'll let you know how you do that at the end of the video. So this is the first style we're looking at, and it's embedded. So basically it's still a straight line of machines, they're still laid out, but you're making it look a little bit more interesting by kind of embedding them into the wall or the structure of the building. And that's the key thing with this, is it you're making it look like the machine, oh sorry, train going off. You're making it look like the machine is part of the build, so it integrates it and it makes it look a lot cleaner but more interesting to kind of build. These were built before blueprints, so they are not blueprinted, but a refinery is a really good easy one to do. It looks really cool just sticking out of the wall with because you've got the inputs or outputs sticking out slightly from the front of the machine. It's a nice clean easy way of doing it, and it's just a nice start. So you can see I've just encased them like this with a little walkway in between, and then the back is just really simple. I like how that little light sticks through from the refinery itself, and then you've got the inputs going in there. But yeah, this is a really easy simple one to do. Nice and clean, nice and simple. I was going to show you, well, I'll show you now actually, I'll show you some clips of it. My nuclear power plants, again, fully encased. You can only really see the very front interesting bit, so it's quite an extreme case of enclosing the machine. Now, we'll jump over to what I've done with the blueprint. Okay, so here's our first blueprint for embedded machines. Now I've gone with quite a late game machine here, but mainly because on my last video I got quite a lot of questions about a Game Labs video that had come out and how they had done a lot of their layouts and stuff like that. Now a lot of that stuff is modded, looks amazing, but it's modded, so if you want to do that you have to talk to someone who knows more about mods than me. But one thing I did notice in their video is they did this quite cool thing with the converters where they framed up this a little bit differently to how I've done it, but I think it looks pretty cool. So that's what I've decided to do with this, just showing this front panel of the converter and then using covering the rest of it, but using the shape of the machine. You can see I've angled this out as well to really dictate your wall design, which is quite a cool idea. Obviously we're not showing much of the machine here, so this might be better for you if you kind of just want a real subtle look to your builds and you don't want to show off the machines too much. But I have included on the blueprint this pipe. This machine is just making extracted photonic matter, so there's nothing going into it, it's just coming out. So when I show you this blueprint in a sec all working, you'll see that the matter is pumped up that way and looks quite cool. But yeah, not much else going on. There's nothing really at the back of it. You could, I guess, do the same for this panel at the back. This is just an example. So we'll run over here and I'll set that one up for you. So, oh, not there. Where are we? So there we go. If they snap together quite well, these blueprints. If we're in blueprint mode, see, we can just snap like this. Pop 3 of them. Now they do snap this side, but what you'll have to do is just hit H and nudge it in like that. So then we'll just line this up, and then all you need to do at the top here, obviously you need to add power. I've put some power connectors along the back, but I've got no power running in this save, so I'll just quickly hook these up. I think if I do it like this, it's better. So you can hook them up like this. And then if I get a fluid buffer, where's the fluid buffer? In here, innit? There we go. Now it's a bit dark in here, but it's quite ominous. I quite like it. So when they're running, you'll see you get this like distortion. You will get the purple light coming through. There you go. Looks like a bit of a ball, which is annoying, but you can see what I mean about that. The pipes coming up. It's quite an ominous looking factory. So, you know, I think it looks quite cool. I'm not entirely sure about the chrome. I was hoping this would shine a bit more, and it does. But the way they've changed up how these signs work means they only load when you're looking at them. So you see what I mean? But nothing, and then it suddenly turns on when you're looking at it, which is a bit annoying. I don't know if there's I think there might be a command prompt thing to change that, but I don't know too much about that. But yeah, this is our first encased blueprint. If you like it, I'll tell you how to download these at the end of the video. Okay, and now we're at our second style, which is raised up machines. And I'm also going to note that you can see here that the machines are also kind of encased or enclosed at the top here. So that's an important thing, is like these aren't separate styles. You can mix them all together and create new things, and you'll see that as we go forward. So yeah, basically the great thing about raising your machines up off the ground and above your walking level is like this. You see it all coming down like that, and it brings life to your factory to have things raised up off the ground, to see all your resources and all the things you're creating flow downwards. And then you see I've got a trough down the bottom here, so you can see them going off that way as well. And obviously here I've not only raised the machines up off the level, but I've brought the walkway down to really accentuate that difference, and I've separated them all out into their own little platform. And then if we come down here, you can see they're just run down and out down here like that. So yeah, it's a real nice way of creating some depth and some levels to make your designs stand out and look really cool, and obviously be more interesting for you to build as well, rather than just laying out a ton of machines. So let's jump over to the blueprints I've made for raised machines. Okay, so this is our next set, and it is for the raised blueprint that I've made. Now again, as you saw in the example I just showed in my where is it, the aluminum factory, I don't think I actually told you that, but it was in my aluminum factory. I've done the same thing here of adding a walkway in the middle. You'll see how this snaps together, so you'll get a nice cascade and you'll be able to see all whatever's being made here. I think I've set these up for anything in particular. No, I haven't. So, you know, I've left them open so you can set them up for whatever you want, but whatever you're producing will come down here, and then there's just some mergers down the bottom here. Take it off wherever you want. I quite liked this little split pillar thing with the lights on top. I thought it looked quite cool with the chrome single wall going through the middle. And then again, this is what I was talking about before, where you see there's no light there. I put these lights here. If I highlight them, it will load. Oh, no, but yeah, as you come up, you see them. It lights up this strip, which I thought was quite cool. But it only does it if you light down here, which is a bit annoying. But, you know, what can you do? And same with these lifts. So that should light up the whatever you're producing as it comes down here. And then I've done all the logistics in here pretty basically for you at the back as well. I'll show you how you clip these together. Again, they snap together pretty well. Where are we? Raised assemblers. So it's a pretty easy blueprint to snap. It says, there you go. And snap on either side. Come on. Not on top. There we go. So as you can see, nice long line of assemblers, and then obviously all you need to do is come under here, torch on, join up your... I left all these as Mark 1 belts, by the way. Just, you can come in and swap them out if you want, if they're not set up, if you're doing something that needs more than Mark 1. So join up your assemblers, your merging lines, and then come in the back here and obviously join up your input lines as well. That, and then the power is run down here, so you'll just need to hook those up as well. Now, one thing you'll notice is these lines are running in this direction, and when you put this on there, they're running that opposite direction. Now that can be quite annoying. You could make same with these. You can see this is outputting this way and that's outputting that way, which is a bit annoying. You could make a flipped version. I'm not going to make these as example blueprints of how to lay out factories, but you could just leave it like this and just simply hook it up, so it's all coming round and down there. And then same, I think this is, yeah, you'd clip through there, but you can come out this. See, even this furthest one, yeah, you can't quite make it. If you put straight mode on, it's easy enough just to come out like this and hook them up like that, and then the same for this side. So if you don't want to make reversed versions of these, this is a very easy way to just make this a full manifold line, and make it nice and easy and simple to use. But I think it's quite nice and clean. Not gone too crazy with the design because I didn't want to use too many late game items. You know, a few signs, a few pillars. Yeah, let's move on to our next style. Okay guys, and here is our next one, and it's pretty basic. It's just stacking your machines, so one on top of the other. Again, you get this nice double layered effect, so you get this nice waterfall of the belts all coming down, and you can see the machines underneath it. You get this nice layered look with the platforms. Obviously you can take this more extreme, so you could raise up the first set of machines and then layer another set of machines on top of it, so you really get some good beltage going. But not only does this look nice, it's obviously more space efficient than just having a line of machines, but it's quite an obvious one, but I think it's worth mentioning because it looks quite nice. So let's just move on to the blueprint for this style. Okay, so this is our blueprint for the stacked version. I had a comment recently from someone who was saying they were having trouble laying out assemblers, so this is why a few of them are assemblers, because it was just in my mind. But obviously, as you can see, I've gone pretty simple with it. It's just some frame pillars with a frame floor in here, stacking the assemblers. But what I've done here, which I quite like to do, and I'm going to do a video about belt layouts and making your belts look interesting as well, but I've added this walkway through the center here, so that when this is all up and running, you'll be able to run through and see all of your you'll see this better when I've laid a few of them out, but yeah, you'll be able to see all of your items running down there. And I've done the same on the back here, so you'll see the inputs coming up, and then you've just got a simple manifold line down the bottom there running to the first one that's down here. So yeah, you'll be able to walk through this line and see the assembler working and see what's being produced. I've had to do a little bit of a fudge to line, because obviously this is not quite too wide, but just so this lines up here and here, so that when you place the blueprint you get a nice walkway. And there's something else about this walkway I'll show you in a sec when we lay these out. So let me show you that. So we are looking at where are we? Stacked. There we go. So again, nice and simple just to lay these out. Let's bump it down, snap it. If you hold control, there we go, point the other one. Oh, hang on, I've made a mistake there. That middle one, wrong way around. go. So yeah, again, I've made them nice and simple and easy to place. The walkways all line up nicely, and like all the rest of them, all you'll need to do is come in here with your belts, whichever speed you need. Obviously you can upgrade them to whatever you want. I think I've set these, yeah, to make reinforced iron plates, so I've set it up for that. But you can obviously change them to what you want. Nice clean looking stack of assemblers. And again, you just need to connect your belts, and then the power I've hidden under here. So, hang on, there we go. All you need to do is connect your power through like so. Now, I quite often do this on machines. I've done it with a few. I've done it on these as well. I've clipped my power line. You can't even see it. It goes through there. You see it? It just runs through there. That might bug you. Obviously, if it does, you can move the power maybe. If I can nice like that. There you go. Maybe you could just move your power line. Take these and just move the power line. It's quite cool on frame foundations. To there, then it's not clipping through, and then hook it in to below. But that's personal preference. I don't really mind clipping a wire through like that, because I think it in the visual noise it gets hidden. You're never going to notice it. It doesn't clip through any of the moving sections, I don't think. So in my book, I think that's fine. Okay, and so I had one more thing to tell you about these walkways. Now, as you can see here, they are not 4 meters. They are 5 meters off the ground. So when you try and put some stairs on them, you're going to get this gap at the bottom. You can always do that, but I don't like that. I don't like how the railing dives into the floor. It looks horrible. So what you're going to do is get rid of that horribleness. Plop that in the middle there. Oh, sorry. Grab a road barrier. I can't talk. And then measure your gap. So we know this is 1 meter is off the ground, this gap. So we go 1 out. If we had 2 meter gap, we'd go 2 out. If we had a 3 meter gap, we'd go 3 out. And obviously if we have a 4 meter gap, that's just a full set of stairs, so you don't need to worry about that. So yeah, this is 1 meter, so we're going to jump 1 out, place our road barrier, grab our stairs, and then point at the bottom of the road barrier, rotate like that, place it in place, get rid of road barrier, and we have a lovely 5 meter set of stairs. This works really well for if you've accidentally, say, built like that, and then, oh no, your stairs don't fit. So it's exactly the same as that, basically. So it's a really good way of closing those little gaps. So a nice little bonus tip for you, and you'll just need to know that, obviously, if you're planning on using this blueprint. But saying that, let's get on to our next style. Hello everybody. We've reached the point in the video where, again, I thought we needed a moment of calm. Some people seem to like the ASMR I did in the last video, so I thought, hey, why not? Let's bring it back. While we're doing it, I'd like to say thank you so much for the response to the last video. It really overwhelmed me and was amazing. Got me past that 1,000 subscriber mark, and I just can't say thank you enough. But having said that, look at how many people still aren't subscribed. Look at this percentage. I know I'm very calm with my voice right now, but it would be great if all of these people subscribed. Now, I do these videos for fun. I do just enjoy them. But, you know, seeing numbers go up is quite fun as well, isn't it? So if you have enjoyed this video so far, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. There'll be more great content like this coming. Maybe I'll just turn into a Satisfactory ASMR content creator. Ready to stand and look at waterfalls and talk in a nice, soft voice for 3, maybe 4 hours. But let's get back to the video. Thank you very much. Okay, and so here's our next setup. We obviously talked about stacking up machines, and this is obviously a slight variation on that. you can do stacked with an offset. So you can see here in my aluminium setup up here, we have them kind of stacked. They're not on top of each other, but they have an offset backwards and then an offset to the middle, and it adds this great depth. As you can see, you've got the two in the front, one in the back, like that. It just makes it look all more interesting and ominous and kind of, yeah, it looks really cool. Ooh, there we go. And again, I've raised them, as you can see. So again, I've raised them up. So we're down in a lower here, and you're really seeing that effect of a raised thing. But then you've got the offset one in the background. Again, adding more depth, adding more interest, and yeah, making things look cool. So let's jump into the blueprints for this one. Okay, and here we are for our blueprint for our offset stack. Now, it's slightly different to the one I showed you in my save. We've got it directly stacked rather than offset backwards, but you can see here we have the offset of one machine and then one at the top, and I think it looks quite nice doing it like this. Again, it's a nice way of framing your machine. So this, you'll be able to see that machine, you'll be able to see what type of it's producing running down beside it. So I think these are set for crystal quartz, yeah, so all the belts and stuff are set for crystal quartz, but obviously you can set it up for anything that comes out of constructor. You can change it to that, again, but it's a nice space saving one. It's very like the stacked one that we just looked at, but obviously just a little bit more interesting, I think. Again, I've gone with this lowered walkway, so you've got your merging line under here, which is a little bit more complicated, obviously, because of how many we've got in here. We've got a few more mergers coming in than the other one. Again, it adds this depth of layers. Anyway, you can add a bit of depth to your builds, adds some visual interest. And then round the back here, I've done the same. Basically, you've got these like that, and you can have this as a little walkway. You could always add some barriers in here, might look nice. Let me just do that. This won't be on the blueprint, but you know, if you want to add some more little flair to it, you could add some barriers in. But I haven't gone too crazy with the decorating, because it's more of an example of showing you how you could lay things out. If you wanted to, we'll quickly snap some of these together like I've done with everything else. But again, there's nothing too complicated. Where are they? There we go. With them, they suffer from the same problem as the raised ones, in that obviously this line is coming this way and this line is going out that way. But again, you can just easily connect like that, and the same with these lines here. You can easily just connect them up like that, even easier than the other one, and easy peasy lemon squeezy, you've got a nice complete set of machines here. But I think they look nice with the walkway. You could decorate it a bit more, like I said, but it's just a really nice way of raising the machines up, making things more visually interesting, even making things more readable, because you can see all of the items that are being produced. And so on to our final set or style that we're going to do in this video. Okay, and so our final kind of layout style is what I'm referring to as mixed, and that means not just laying out like a big line of the same machines, but mixing different sets of machines together. So you can see I've done that here with these refineries and the assemblers in the middle. Obviously now these are heat sinks that's being made here, so you've got copper sheets, aluminium alclad sheets coming in. Obviously the aluminium is being made elsewhere, but the copper sheets are being made in these refineries, is the word I'm looking for. And yeah, they just come around and fed. You can see the belt work here feeds round out of one refinery straight into the assembler, and the same for this one. Obviously the numbers match up quite nicely for copper sheets, so it's 22.5 there, 22.5 coming out there, so it's a really nice mix. But you can do this with lots of different things. There's a lot of circuit board recipes where both the products you need to make them come out of refineries. So you could have 2 refineries, 2 assemblers. One, I think there's a recipe with plastic and something else. Can't remember what it is now. What is it? Let's have a look. Circuit boards. There you go. So yeah, you see there's the this one. So plastic can be made in your refinery, and the copper sheets can be made in the refinery, and then the circuit boards and the assembler in the middle. Same with pretty much all circuit board recipes, to be honest. All of these things can be made in the products that need to go into there, can be made in refineries to then output into your assembler to make your circuit board. So circuit boards is a really good setup, but it's not just refineries and assemblers that you can mix together. So I'm going to show you a different example of that in the blueprints in a minute, but we'll have a quick look at how we've styled this. So I've gone very simple, just with the framed walls and some walkways, but I think it looks quite nice. This is my favorite way to mix up machines, and I'm going to try and do a lot more of this where you can, where it's recipe appropriate, because it really makes things look a lot more interesting to mix up the machines. The one I've got in the blueprint is a lot more of an early game one, recipe setup, but yeah, I think it looks quite nice. So we'll jump over to the final set of blueprints, and I'll also tell you where you can get those blueprints. So I'll see you over there in just a sec. So this is our final style, and again it's the mixed one, but as you can see I've mixed in a bit of raisedness into here just to make it look a little bit more interesting, but I've tried to keep this one a little bit more early game than the rest of them. So this is literally just an iron rod setup. So you've got one smelter feeding the 2. It's quite a nice ratio here for that, because obviously you're making 30 iron ingots here, which is split into 15 and 15 for the 2 iron rod machines. But you could do this with plates, you know what I mean? You could do a plate setup. Obviously you need all the 30 ingots, so you would just have to overclock this middle one, and that's quite an important thing with this this type of setup, is that you have to, obviously more than the rest of them, consider what your recipe that you're using is. Obviously I showed you heat sinks, showed you could do circuit boards, but there's plenty of recipes and plenty of machines that can get paired up like this, but yeah, you'll have to think of your rates. Obviously, like I said, this is quite nice and easy setup because you've got 15 and 15, and that's producing 30. But you could do plates, just overclock this, and that's the same as with the refinery recipes that I was talking about, the circuit boards. They're not going to produce, one refinery is not going to produce the exact right amount for one assembler. So maybe you underclock the refinery, or you overclock the assembler, or you know, you can mix up machines like that. So don't just think, oh, I can't mix these because the ratios don't quite work out correctly. Remember, you can over and underclock things so that you can do this. So I'm going to show you this one running, unlike the rest of them, because then you'll get a nice look, see how it looks running. And it's a bit easier than the rest because it's just iron ore I need taken in. So let's line this up, this using our old trusty nudge. Need to get this, let's try and get it as close as we can. Yep, that's correct. Let's put another one in as well, why not? There you go. Okay, let's just chuck some Mark 6 belts in here to get it nice, running nice and quickly. Obviously I've got mods running here for no power. What I quite like about this blueprint, obviously it looks quite nice from both sides. All you'll need to do, obviously I've got no power, but all you need to do here is hook these 2 up like this, and then obviously the belts like I showed you, and the merging line down here. Then if you look this side, I quite like that you've got your raw resource coming in along the top. You can see that going along, and then out of here you'll see your rods coming along in the same direction. So it's quite nice. I know there's a process going on in the middle, but it's quite nice seeing the raw coming in and then the final output coming in along the bottom. But it's nice, clean, simple. design with the power running through quite nicely. Like I said, just hook it up like that. No clipping, no anything like that. Just clean, simple, nice looking early game setup. And again, it looks way more interesting than just having a bank of smelters and a bank of constructors. Like mixing it up like this just makes it more fun to play the game, gives you a bit more of a logistics puzzle to play with, rather than, you know, just thinking, oh, I've got it from there to there. It's, yeah, more of a puzzle, figuring out what recipes work well together and what ones you can kind of pair up to make cool looking mixed setups. So that's it really. And so all you need to know now is how to get these blueprints, and not only these blueprints, but the blueprints from my 1.0 save and my 1.0 save itself, and future saves as well, and future blueprints will all be talking about saves, nice auto save, will all be put into my Discord channel. There's a link down in the description if you want to go and join that. Jump in, have a chat, share some screenshots, tell us what you love about the game, and also get a bunch of free blueprints. And every time I finish a factory in my 1.0 save, I will upload that save. So jump down there, join the conversation. And yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, drop me a like. If you've got any questions, drop me them in the comments, or pop in the Discord and drop them in there. I try and reply to pretty much every comment that I have an answer for. And if I haven't, I'll try and point you in the right direction of where you can get the answer. If you want to keep up to date with releases and things like that, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've been Scratch. I'll see you in the next video.